Well, now that there's this audacious plan of an uneasy alliance between, well, the Tomb of Nazarick and the Empire, I'm not entirely sure what the name of that place is. Oh, I don't think it really matters, because if they try to do anything, it will soon be raised into rubble. But there is a traitor in the midst, at least when the Emperor is concerned, because Lord Ines has managed to convince the court wizard to humble himself upon his own honour, due to basically being able to outmatch pretty much everyone in the world with his magical output. And having something like the Empire as an ally may be in a good stead for having the entire world, well, stay away from a bit and not just throw away their lives needlessly. Let's see how long that actually keeps up. Good. Oh yeah, he's actually taken up the mantle of Sorcerer King properly now, hasn't he? I wonder how Gazef will act when they find out that Sebas is also under the employ of Ines, or the Sorcerer King. Well, we know he's been making his move for quite a while, but now he's been officially recognised, for better or worse. And especially this way, if there is any of his old guild members in the world, they would hear his name, wouldn't they? And we know that, as many people have pointed out, his love of his old friends and guildmates is his undoing. Sentimental little skeleton, isn't he? But if a single member of Ines' entourage manages to wipe out the head guards of the Empire and bring it to a standstill, I think they know not to do anything rash. Nope. Just kind of appeared one day. What, so they're using this as an excuse? Yeah, don't make any stupid comments. Once again, people getting ahead of themselves, thinking of their own place in this hierarchy. Is amazing. Something that you can't fight against. Fine. Send these guys off to go greet Ainz. And of course, none of them want to give up anything of their own. They're all out for themselves. Just like any noble I know. Or in any media on it. It would show sign of weakness, and all the other provinces will see that as weakness. I mean, it's not too strange that they'd all want to preserve favour. Yes, preparing would be quite a good idea. You can't. So they can't throw away the heir to the throne. They have quite, well, like any. I can't remember the name of countries that are ruled by royalty and all that. Yes, of course. And everyone has got their own little side business to keep themselves in. Well, keep themselves safe, no matter what happens. Of course, they're going to be filled with lecherous people. Yes. You can't let these words out too loudly, lest anyone hears. No one seems to be able to speak in their mind. I sense trouble. Well, at least he's a doting father. You allowed a little bit of levity. So far he's the most the least pretentious noble that we've seen so far. Extorting your child for information. Terrible. Although there is a limit to how much cutesy affection before it just becomes a bit too much to watch. Does that sound familiar? I can't remember. I can't remember if I'm making it up in my head like I've heard that name before. So we're getting a lot of political strife. It's no longer all the regions of the world keeping in their own little remnants with sending out small battalions to cause issues. He has the power of 5,000 soldiers while he's still asleep. Still underestimating. We've seen, well, I think Gazef has actually seen his power when he was fighting the slain bureaucracy with the angels and whatnot. You've been told, boy! Getting information about a potential enemy is very good. Are you seeking for that? Yes, he's seeking for it himself. Or for himself. He's been looked over completely. I wonder how much backstabbing is going to occur. I heard that neck crack. Well, not I heard, I felt that neck crack, that's what I meant. For the future of the kingdom, unfortunately there is a limit. If you continue to keep the prince away from anything that could be seen as dangerous, then is he going to be able to step up to it in the future? Of course, he seemed pretty good enough. Only for a few years, because we know that peace is not easily acquired. He's quite a straightforward general then, is he? I wonder what kind of strategies these armies employ. Fair enough. Everyone's being quite respectful now, yes. He doesn't seem to treat Gazov with any kind of contempt like some of the others. It's a long journey with either a slow, painful resolution, or quite an abrupt end. That's probably something best not thought about. With his connections, would it be possible to get him to talk to Ainz at all? The adventurers have probably little ties to make them. Yeah, quite a lot of noise that would have been made just then. The difference in abilities is quite abundantly clear, isn't it? Hmm. It's fine enough to train your abilities with the sword, but yes, as they've been pointing out, just training for one-on-one duels and whatnot won't really help in a lot of this world's encounters. Going to the top of the tower. I wonder what he had to say. Don't remember that. I don't remember that name, at least. Yes. Stories are going to become intertwined, and how good he is at bluffing. And keeping ahead of these foolish people. Well, they should have at least had a lot of practice fighting undead. I wonder what is the most common enemy in this world. Like, common monster, I meant. Well, there probably is some secondary task, but probably not something as dark as all of that. He'll make himself too much of a target if he stood out. He has his reasons there. Unfortunately, he needs to really do his best now, doesn't he? Like you said earlier about all of the random foot soldiers and whatnot, how many of these three will return? Well, if Brain was terrified of Shao-Ti and... Oh, no, well, they're not too connected, are they? Because of Hines and Moment. Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, if Moment took down two vampires, potentially, and Brain was too scared to do anything and ran away, and Ein's own gown is stronger than that. Just not too heavily, right, guys? Just go on for a quick one. And if the floor guardians want to get involved, this is going to be very one-sided. Then again, Ainz can use this, if he wanted to wipe out both armies in a single blow. What's he planning here? Is he just gonna... I thought he was gonna send Shao-Ti himself. Brain facing off against Shao-Ti would be a nice thing to see. If they were scared of a Death Knight, how are they going to feel against a battalion of them? Do they have anything to actually take down Death Knights? Why have you pruned your eyebrows to that? Methinks the nobles have too much time on their hands. Yes, please leave the screen and don't come back. Was it the, will they arrive too late then? Then leave them behind? He's going to run. He's going to push them. Now I can already imagine the comments from this. I missed quite a lot, and I misheard some of the talk with the troubles and tribulations between the Empire and like Elrental, is that what this kingdom's called? I don't know. You see, that's how much I've taken in of what this actual place is. Did they think that the Empire was using this alliance as a bluff? And that's why they were like, oh, let's go to war. I mean, yes, you can't exactly stand around and do nothing, because they have been at war with the Empire for quite a long time, apparently, and have had to withstand quite a few attacks, so of course they'd be uneasy. I guess one way to take over the entire world would be to set all of the current inhabitants against each other, have them fight it out themselves, and you just rule over the remains. Unfortunately, it also means there's not really much left to rule over. Once everything is a desolate wasteland, well, it's a desolate wasteland. You can have the material from it, I guess, but out of the three of Gazef, Brain, and Climb, I don't really care about Climb at all. And it would be interesting to see him hurt, because the princess will then become pretty much, well, quite outraged, won't she? And then will we see that terrible, horrible side of her come out? Seeing a true representation of vengeance would be kind of terrifying, considering I've already seen that face once and it still burned a hole in my memory. I'm not entirely sure why they're so surprised about Ainz's legions of Death Knights. Well, at least the ones that were present when they went to meet him, because he made a Death Knight from a single head. And considering that Ainz has the power to basically take down anyone that challenges him, of course it will have a lot of body parts to make knights out of, won't he? But we do know that Ainz has a plan. Well, Demiurge has a plan, which basically means he can't try to take over the world through fear and power alone. Unfortunately, will everything line in place so that he can actually follow through with that plan? Or will the world need a little push? We've already seen several things at play, like the big dragon, the one that was talking to the dragon, the world item that took over Sheltir, basically all of the slain theocracy, because we haven't really seen them at all anymore. And anyone else that's kind of not in the picture. I'm looking forward to the battle. I know it's going to be a masterpiece of CGI. But as long as they focus around Ainz's magic, then that'll be good enough. We don't really need to see troops fighting, but we can see countryside being laid to waste from a flick of his wrist. And my throat has just been giving me some trouble, so I'm going to need to get myself a drink so that I can actually keep my voice. But I've been enjoying this, even with the decidedly dodgy art some of the times. But Overlord manages to hold this balance of kind of jovial, typical fantasy elements that you'd see from, well, anything. Like Lord of the Rings, let's say, because I can actually make comparisons there. But it has decidedly very dark and disturbing turns that are alluded to, yet not entirely fleshed out, and just, there you are. It is the subtlety of it and hiding it away from you, so you think about it and your imagination starts going into it, and that's what makes it worse. Because probably your imagination is worse than the actual thing. But from what I've gathered from some of the things going on in Nazarick, no, my imagination is definitely not as bad as that. Kind of grateful about that. If you've enjoyed, please let me know, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Of course, that's only if you don't want to miss anything. If you've got some complaints, well, you can leave them down below. I might actually listen to them. Either way, make sure you get a lot of rest, especially when you're preparing for a battle. See you in the next one.